Welcome down here in the Paarl, where it's this mutual and federal premier Interschools clash between the host Paarl Boys High School up against the travellers from Bloemfontein, Grey College. Well, inclement weather has greeted the visitors from Bloemfontein, where there's a maximum temperature of 15 degrees and a rainfall chance of 80%. And there've been some showers throughout the morning down here in Paarl. The crowds are built up, and there, a shot of the Grey College boys singing for their side. Of course, their headmaster, Dion Skeepers. Their school was established in 1855 by Sir George Grey, who also had a hand in founding Auckland Grammar in New Zealand. For the host Paarl Boys, their headmaster, Derek Swart, established in 1868, also known as Jongenskool Paarl, or better known as Boys High. Paarl Rock in the backdrop, after which the town was named, and of course both these schools have produced a plethora of Springboks on either side. Grey College 42 in total, and Paarl Boys 20. Frans Valherbe and Piet Vassell, the last two on either side, who donned the green and gold last year.
Thanks very much, guys. And yes, there's a lot of Springboks that you saw there on the screen, but there's another one alongside me today. That's Flock Cilliers, and as a utility Springbok and a man who knows this part of the world rather well. So, Flock, I'd rather say to you, whether your glass is half empty or half full, but certainly I'll go with the 20% of no rain today, surely.
Ek dink ek stem saam met jou. Ek dink 80% sê dit kan verseker reën kom. Ons hoop maar die reën bly weg, want ons wil graag 'n mooi wedstryd sien, ons wil graag reën sien. So kom ons hoop die reën bly weg.
Well, yes, it's not great this weather at the moment, but the big question about it too, I think, is that the wind is blowing virtually straight down the field. Flock, what do you do when you win the toss? Do you play into the wind? Do you play with it in the first half?
Ja, dit is as kaptein afrigter moet jy besluit geneem het in die week wanneer jy die lood wen. Gaan jy teen die wind, gaan jy saam met die wind. Maar as jy teen die wind gaan, moet jy bereid wees om 35 minute te verdedig en lae risiko rugby speel saam met die wind. Teken soveel as moontlik punte aan, sit die punte op die bord, kom die tweede halftyd verdedig en verdedig die telling.
Well, the leaders of the schools, of course, are the two headmasters, and we had an opportunity a little bit earlier to have a chat to the headmaster, Dion Skeepers. Dion Skeepers, headmaster of Grey College from Bloemfontein. You're down here in Paarl in some pretty awful Cape weather, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure, Gavin, but it's an honor and a privilege to be here. I think the Paarl boys organised the special weather for us today, but hopefully the boys can put it together and have a good show.
Well, they know as well that you are #1 in the country at the moment, so unbeaten this year, just the one draw against Monument. Big expectations from your team?
Not really, you know, we take it one match at a time. I think Paarl is also unbeaten they've only lost overseas. So I suppose there's two unbeaten teams here today. So we hope for a good game.
If you have a look at your team too, just one or two players out, and that's unfortunately one of the things of rugby, occupational hazard, I always call it, with injuries. The team itself has played really good all-round rugby this season, hasn't it?
Yes, they have. You know, it's in the great tradition of trying to score tries. We've had one or two injuries. You know, Henry Immelman, the fullback, got badly injured a week ago. But the rest of the boys must step up and do their best for the school and for the team.
Well, you've produced 40 Springboks over the years, but I'm sure that it's not just about producing Springboks at school level.
Gavin, 42 Springboks, but we strive for holistic education, and you know, this day is much bigger than just a rugby result. You know, there have been various activities, and we try to produce holistic boys who can make a contribution outside the school.
Thanks for providing great entertainment for us from Grey College.
You're welcome, Gavin. Thanks so much.
Well, weather can be a great leveller, and we hear about conditions, but what about also the field that we're playing on? Bear in mind that in years gone by, this particular field, if you just follow me here, this was where the touchline used to be, so it was a much narrower field that the teams had to play on. Flock Cilliers, how would a team like Grey College practice or be ready to play on a field that was smaller than what it is today?
William Smolsmith het vroeër die week gesê, as hulle Paarl Boys kom speel het, maak hulle velde 5-6 meter kleiner om die klein veld gewoon te raak. So ek dink dit kan 'n groot rol speel vandag. Dis meer spasie om te aan te val, meer spasie om te skop, en in jou agterkop gaan dit verseker 'n rol speel, weet met aanvalle wat jy wil dag verloods.
Well, you've got two very wily coaches as well that are part of this scene today. But another wily person as well is the headmaster of the local school, and that is Derek Swart. On your home field, do you feel that there is a home ground advantage for you?
Not really. Grey is always a very well organized setup, very good team, so they would have done their homework. And I'm pretty sure that they will be quite motivated. The last three matches did not go all that well for them. Two of them in Bloemfontein, one loss, one draw, and one very narrow win. So I think they'll be up to it. They'll be very motivated, but then so will our boys be.
Out towards your left, there's a huge number of old boys. You pride yourself in your old boys too, don't you, in supporting your team?
Yes, I think it's probably the strongest old boys union in the country, if not in the world. And very happy for them to be here as well, and they're all over the show. I'd just like to say a big word of welcome to those I haven't seen yet.
Derek, you're talking about tradition too, and one of the things in your team as well is you've had a lot of injuries this season, and today's no different.
Yeah, Gavin, injuries are there. We've got about 5 or 6 injuries. To have a third of your team out is quite a difficult thing, but there's one thing that we always say in Boys Eye, and that is Boys Eye team by whatever way is the Boys Eye team on whatever day, and we'll do the playing on the field.
Well, your junior teams have done rather well. I think your under-14s, your under-15s, 1-2. What do you expect in this first team game?
It's going to be very difficult to say. Like I said, Grey is a very strong team. They would be very well organized, very well structured. But, you know, our boys have got a lot of guts, so we'll see what happens.
Good luck for your home game.
Thank you very much.
Well, the very specifics there from the two headmasters. And Floxelia, if we have a look at the match itself today, we've got 2 unbeaten teams, as we've heard, too. What could be the difference between these 2 teams? And is there a home ground advantage for Paarl Boys High?
Tydvoordeel speel 'n sekere rol. Paarl Boys is gewoond in die veld, die omstandighede. Maar saam met dit span vandag die minste die beste dissipline het, die minste traskoppe afstaan. Span wat die kans die beste gebruik. Elke keer as die ander span se 22 kom, gaan die oorwinnaar van die veld kan stap vandag.
Well, that could be the difference then. Just maybe that 1 or 2 little bits of magic from either team that could provide the victory today that both are looking for. 2 unbeaten teams in South Africa. This should be one of the best matches this season, and we certainly hope so, even in this inclement weather. So join us, and we hope we have a fantastic game.
And here we see the team sheets. Grey College, of course, led by number 8, Alex Jonker, but watch out for number 12, who's playing in the number 24 jersey, Mike Andrada. He's a live wire inside centre who organises well, as does the loose-head prop, Ruben Tablanche, a man mountain, who will be expecting to put his stamp on this clash this afternoon. Here the clouds coming in from the northwest, while Paarl Boys' side, well, they'll be led by lock Vian Botha, but it's the number 5 lock, Ruben de Villiers, who's impressed throughout his career. Represented Western Province at under 16 level, and they'll be looking to him to secure vital line-out ball from de Villiers. A big role to play for Paarl Boys. As I welcome my fellow commentator, Gav Carley. Well, Gavin, it's a real ding-dong clash. You saw these 2 sides last year go 35-28 in the favour of the home side, Grey College, but it was 2 years ago that Paarl Boys had the better of Grey College when they defeated them down here 28-18. And of course on that day, Jean-Luc Duplessis, who's now in the SA Under-20 setup, was the catalyst in that victory for Paarl Boys. What can we expect from the home side today?
Well, just picking up on that, Gareth, too, you talk about Jean-Luc Duplessis. His father, Paarl, played against Jaco Reinach, 2 Springboks that played together a few years later, which was a big factor too. Well, the question is, Gareth, I presume Grey College have won the toss probably, and are looking to play into the win. So Alex Jonker and his team have got a really important first half, which might be a very strong defensive half for them. And Vian Botha then brings out the Paarl Boys High team. And my question back to you, Gareth, would really be, and I asked Floxelia about that a little earlier, do you believe that there's an advantage at home here for Paarl Boys High?
I think definitely home ground advantage. They will be cognizant of the fact that the last time they took on Grey College, they were victors in the self-same clash. This wind is a massive factor. It's a 20-point wind, and they'll need to assert their ascendancy from an early stage in this match, and they'll be looking to build a lead. While you can expect traditional running rugby from Grey College, but to answer your question, definitely home ground advantage in favour of the men from Paarl.
Stefan de Toy, our referee for today's match. And a nice occasion for him to...
Kaptein Blauw. Kaptein Wit.
So it'll be Paarl Boys High then with the kickoff there. Ron Lombard, and this is one of the difficulties, Gareth, is making mistakes on a day like this in these sort of conditions. Obviously not a great start.
Well, both sides will be G'd up to the tee. That's criminal from Paarl Boys, kicking it directly into touch, giving the ascendancy to Grey Bloom early on in this game. And if you look at your screens, that northwesterly wind is blowing from the top right to the bottom left at the backs of Paarl Boys. But early on, they've given Grey an opportunity to keep ball in hand.
Crouch.
Doesn't the grey scrum half look like a Badenhorst?
Fine.
Chris Badenhorst's son, Dion Badenhorst, who's at scrum half, the former Free State right winger. And it's Badenhorst immediately with a little pop pass there to Dwayne Wessels. Looked like it might have been marginally forward, but on they go. This is where there's going to be a big tussle up front here.
Use it once.
It's the one thing about Great College this year. They are the #1 team in South Africa, and they have the put in at the scrum. And Gareth, you and I have done a couple of their matches during the course of the season, and we've certainly seen their abilities, but they're not the biggest team in the world, but very well organised.
And their set phases, well, they're key to their attack. They launch very well from both scrum and line out. And you can expect this exciting back line to put it into the wider channel, stretches Paarl Boys' defensive outfit. In particular, look out again for that man Andrada.
Sit.
He really is a quality rugby player who has a bright future ahead of him.
Use it, please.
Big pressure on the scrum, but they've managed to get it out. Barnell's done well. The little switch there to Wessels. This is Mike Andrade. Bear in mind, the man playing outside Emil Stannard will be wearing a number 24 jersey. And that is courtesy of a particular issue with the jerseys and logos that had to be shipped up to Johannesburg, and they sent back the wrong one. So he'll be in 24. But Great College, importantly, we want to try and wear down this Paarl Boys High team. Try and keep the scoreboard as white as possible without any points. Well, that ball hasn't gone out, so that's another basic error. And of course, the delivery back is a massive one from Paarl Boys High. Just about up to the halfway line there from Ryan Lafitte.
Two elementary errors coming in from the home side early on. They've given away a penalty, kicked the ball directly into touch. And again, it's Great College who look to keep ball in hand, set the target and get their big boys running around the corner.
So the third oldest school in South Africa, Great College. They've got a very, very proud tradition and a very successful one when it comes to the game of rugby. Clean out Wessels looking to go infield, and also not scared of the physicality as Dwayne Wessels. Helps to just bring some change. So that's a very solid tackle on Henry Slubbert. There's a lot of talk as well about Janu Botha and Derek Marais, the respective tight head props of the two teams. Barnhorst this time to defend the side note. Well, as you said, Gareth, also protecting the ball is really important. So that's a turnover here for Paarl Boys High. And I guess we'll be excused if every now and then we use the word Boys High, because that's what they're called. That's their nickname.
Charles Pretorius, he just needed to look after the ball in contact. He got into the half gap and then, unfortunately, it got spilled out of his hands. But both sides, an army of two boxers early out, feeling each other out. Some big hits coming in from Paarl Boys. They're looking for the double, looking for the turnover hit. Some good defense early on from the home side.
And some attention there for Rowan Lombard.
Gavin, Paarl Boys have got a new director of rugby, Sean Erasmus. He's come down from Glenwood. He's been involved with the Shark setup for many a year, and he's brought a new energy and impetus into this Paarl outfit.
I chatted to him a little bit early on, and I must say he certainly gave me the impression of being a very well organised man, and fobbed off the question I asked about all the injuries they've had this season. So looking to get Paarl Boys High back at the top. Well, we say back at the top, they are always a very competitive school. Number 3 in South Africa at the moment, behind Grey College, who are number 1. Certainly a fair bit of possession coming the way of Grey College at the moment. That's Mike Andrade, who's caught in possession as he managed to hold on to it. You've always spoken, Gareth, about his ability to organise at the back. Mike Andrade playing in the inside centre position. He has defended the same so he can steal the milk out of your coffee. He's very good on the ground. Today's the sort of day where rucks and mauls could play an important role. Again, Paarl Boys High trying to show their extra metal at the breakdown points. Some pretty big hits from them. 7 phases then. Can Gray carry this up and breach this line of defence somewhere along the line? Now it comes. Here is the run from Alex Jonker, the captain. Well presented ball to.
Advantage, offside.
That's good play that too there.
White.
It was Ruben de Blanche that got the pass out, so there's a penalty advantage here to Grey College.
Number 8, offside. 8 white. Offside.
Philip Kutsia, the man offside. And that came from that really good pressure. What a sniping break from Alex Jonker.
And it came because the far side defender wasn't in place. Jonker, quick as a flash, spotted that, split the defence open. And of course, when you run down the middle of the field, making a break like that, you have options left and right, which makes it very hard to defend. Paarl Boys giving away the penalty, coming in from offside position. And have a look at Jonker. He sees the guard is not in place. Quick as a flash down the middle. He did well to hold on to possession. A good clean out came in from the Grey College side, and then the penalty accrued from Paarl Boys for coming away and being offside. But this is a slow poison that Grey College employ. They wear you down by keeping the ball in hand, building the phases, forcing you to make numerous tackles. And if we look at the stats already, just after 7 minutes, Paarl Boys have made 17 tackles to that of the one of Grey.
Lawrence Steenkamp. Favourable position. And he's just, you heard some cheering, but I think that was from the opposition supporters. Lawrence Steenkamp. He's playing in the fullback position today. He's normally a right winger, but he's taken the place of Henry Immelman. It's quite a big loss that to Grey College. So Lombard making use of the wind, kicking it high up into the wind.
Back.
Well, that ball went backwards, said the referee. Steenkamp caught in possession. I think Grey will be very happy with the fact that they are getting a lot of possession, Gareth, because one of the difficulties, if they're not, is the ability then of Paarl Boys to kick towards the corners. And the ball hasn't yet got into the 22 of Grey College. Strong running there from Henry Slubbert. And I think it might have been turned over.
Away, Grey, roll away.
This is very much what Paarl Boys High have been looking for, is the ability at the breakdown point to turn over where they can. Certainly got some big fellows, including Philip Kutsia. Bradley Thane at scrum off, just goes in to try and free it up, but looks like it might be another turnover. Well, it's held up at the moment. Grey coming away with it. Interesting, Grey are not kicking into the wind. They've decided they'll carry it up, which is the right tactic. We've seen how well the UCT, the Ike Tigers are on their home field at not kicking into the wind. Just make sure you keep possession. And now they've got an overlap. Chance from the left wing, Glenn Eriksson, who's eventually thumped into touch.
The rain begins to pelt out. What Paarl Boys are doing exceedingly well. Their catch-up defender is working really hard from the inside, negating that inside step. And now you see the cross-cover defence coming in from the burly loosehead, Quinton Foster. Ruben de Blanche begins to stamp his authority on the line out.
Well, Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools rugby in this series really brings fantastic action to you, and today no different, despite the weather conditions. You can see that there's a lot of excitement in this game. Well, that ball turned over illegally by Yuri Burger. I just wonder if Paarl Boys High might think about a shot at goal here. This wind is strong enough to carry this ball some distance.
That's a right decision. He's got the wind at his back. He's going to have a crack at goal. Will Ryan Lafitte. But the penalty coming in. Good work at the breakdown. But unfortunately, the tackle player not releasing the man on the ground. And it's afforded Paarl Boys an opportunity to get first blood in this game.
Yeah, so apologies there to Yuri Burger. he didn't give the penalty away. He was just the last man to handle it. So some distance this. But if you kick it high into the wind, or with the wind, it's going to give you a little bit more distance. Lafitte. It's not a bad effort. But didn't quite have the distance.
22.
And of course the direction was a little awry. It's so good to see so many old boys out here and other supporters too on a day like today.
Well, they aired the Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools build up to this game on Wednesday, and the old boys provide an integral part of both these outfits. Of course, both these sides have played 39 occasions, Grey being on top for 31. Paarl Boys, 6 of the occasions have been the victors and 2 draws.
Well, there's no rhythm at the moment in the Paarl Boys High
advantage.
team, simply because they're not getting enough possession to string together a couple of moves. It's obviously what they really need to try and get their hands on more possession. At the moment, those possession stats are showing strongly in the favour of Grey College, who have the put in at the scrum.
Gavin, as a former flower, the tactic has always been for me in conditions like this that are slightly slippery. Stick it up in the air, test the fullback early on, see how good he is under the high ball. They're trying to run with the ball in hand, and the passes are not sticking. And also due to the fact that with the wind at the back of the Paarl Boys side, the ball is being blown away from the catching player, being the man receiving the pass, which is also proving very tricky for handling on a day like today.
Yeah, well, it's wind and rain. That makes it difficult. I think the challenge for Paarl Boys High is that because they're not getting a lot of possession, they feel they want to try and use it as best as they can. That's really a first-up kick. It's a pretty good one from Mike Andrade. Here comes the counter from Ryan Lafitte. Now, can they get a few moves together here, Paarl Boys High? Slowly, well, first of all, to try and get down into that 22 that's been so elusive. That's not going to help matters. The knock-on coming, so no advantage, says Stefan de Toy.
Again, the big men in midfield just not looking after the ball. You need to get the ball behind those big men, get their backs into action, use them as block runners, open up the space in behind the great offensive unit. But yet again, it's another handling error from the home side. Of course, the more handling errors they make, the more that they'll have to defend in this first half.
Nearly 60 Springboks that have been produced over the years for these schools. We heard a little bit earlier that Frans Malherbe was the last one for Paarl Boys High. It's interesting that this game is being played on what used to be a farm called Berlin, which was owned by PJ Malherbe. I wonder if they're related. That's going back some years. So again, you can see that this is really good work there from Besaidnout. He's the one that ripped that ball away, didn't manage to hold on to it. We've seen a lot of turnovers here suddenly. This time it's Paarl Boys High. Good solid work there by the front row forwards. Oh, that's not a good kick, that, is it? Well, just inside. So they're in the 22.
Turnover ball, golden rule, 2 passes, get it away from the heavily populated area. But unfortunately, Bradley Than deciding to go with ball to boot. Yet again, turning possession over.
That's a good solid line out that. Kassel Rothman with the catch. So Badenhorst Looking for Vessels. No, in fact, Andrade. See, that's the difficulty. When you hoist the ball up, it just doesn't go anywhere. Sometimes goes back over your head if you don't direct it properly. So it's another turnover, and I think Paarl Boys High at the moment just sniffing the opportunity. Just look at those turnovers, Gareth, and again on a day like today where traditionally, and I say that only traditionally because low-scoring games in wet, windy conditions are often the order of the day. The one thing you don't want to concede are turnovers.
And what Grey College are doing so well, Gavin, their upper body strength is immense. They managed to hold the player up in the air, turnover possession, and it allows them to set the platform to exit clinically from within their own red zone.
As you've heard, they've been tight encounters. Last year, Grey College won. The year before, Paarl Boys High won, and the year prior to that, they drew. So, very interesting statistics. Well, Gareth, we've spoken about basics and accuracy in this match. Both teams struggling a little bit. 3 handling errors in the match at the moment. And Charles Pretorius, well, pretty much his first real touch of the game.
Well, a golden opportunity now for Paarl Boys. They're on the left-hand side of the field. They'll have an extra man in attack. Look for them to bring some decoy runners into the midfield and try open up some space in the wider channels.
Find.
Oh, looking for that shift defence. They've got Charles Pretorius standing in the fly-half position.
And you touched on the numerous injuries on both sides. Obviously, Henry Emmelman not representing Grey College this afternoon due to an injury suffered 2 weeks ago against Huffies. But for Paarl Boys, CF Toy, their talismanic eighth man, he's also not on the park. So both these sides heavily hit with injuries. And we're only in the first half of the season.
Well, it's still an opportunity for a guy like Philip Kutsia to make his name. He's now in possession at number 8 for Paarl Boys High. Gareth, you say, yeah, we're just in the early stage of the season. The season starts quite early these days. Of course, Paarl Boys High have already played a tournament in Japan. They lost against Hamilton Boys and played really well. Now Lombard trying to find a gap. This is better now from Paarl Boys High. They're getting a little bit more possession. But again, Gareth, as you said, the upper body strength of the Grey team and their efficient organisation will make their defence very difficult to breach. That's the thing that's impressed me the most about them this season is their efficient organisation. Full credit to Vessel du Plessis, coach, who himself is an old boy. In fact, he's a quantity surveyor. He's decided rugby, his love of rugby, his love of his old alma mater takes precedence. He's put his career as a quantity surveyor on hold. Still, slowly but surely, 11 phases. So that's good play that by the home team. But they've lost the scrum. On the third occasion, we've seen that use it or lose it.
And yet again, it's the upper body strength of the visitors from Bloemfontein that have quashed that imminent attack from Paarl Boys. Holding them up prominent in defence is Jonker and Lawrence Steenkamp. Good work again by the visiting outfit.
Bind.
So a big test this for the Grey scrum. 5 metres out. Bartenhorst with a put in. Held at the back there by Alex Jonker.
Away wide.
So it's Bartenhorst who's got to do the clean-up
Stay
work.
back wide. Stay back.
They have managed to hold on to it, and Dwayne Vessels, just have a look at that kick. Difficult to get it out from that distance. Now the running of Paarl Boys High. That's not a great pass. Did it go backwards? Well, the referee seems to be happy with it.
Knock by White, advantage.
So now it's another turnover. Good solid work there from Yuri Berger and Mike Andrade.
Away wide.
From the inside centre berth, just doing the important work. And Janu Buerto too. Sometimes games like these, in these sort of conditions, are won by the team that can most efficiently Just
Advantage over.
gain even a couple of meters and hold on to possession. Just slowly grind the opposition. Certainly Dwayne Wessels has looked full of running in this first half. Nice work from Burger. The ball a bit slow coming out for Badenhorst. Well, referee says no problem. It's been turned over once again.
More by White, use it once.
That's 7 turnovers in the first 20 minutes.
You got the ball, you got the ball. You got the
Okay,
ball.
Kevin, what Grey College do also well in the wider channels, they're outside backs. They counter-ruck, they're good on their feet, and that allows them to turn ball over at will. Great work on the ground by Paarl van Zyl, the hooker of the home side. He had all the rights to the ball. Great strength shown by the young man, but then again,
Crouch.
they swamped him, did the Grey outfit.
Bond.
Another turnover conceded. And that's 5 in open play that have been suffered by the home side.
Stay 9 White, flanker, White.
8 in total. Wessels standing quite flat. That's good running from him. That's a huge tackle on Mark Andrade. Oh,
Run away, White.
he's got up. That's good news for the home team. That's very sleight of hand. Jasper Pretorius, he's a really quick runner, this fellow.
Back from White.
No real space for him to play in. And it's going to be a scrum to Paarl Boys High.
Well, the longer this drags on, the more it's going to suit the visitors. They'll be cognizant of the fact that they'll have the wind at their backs in the second half. As we see the massive hit coming in on Andrade from Rion Lombard. Pretorius putting in the speculator. Good cover defense coming in from
Crouch.
number 12, Heinrich Moller. It's allowed Paarl Boys an opportunity to see what they can do with ball in hand.
Let's watch this youngster Pretorius if he gets a bit of space. He is really like lightning. Lombard, the long pass to the back now for Ryan Lafitte. You just see the distance they can get in. Gareth, well, that's ball was carried back into the 22, so they're going to come back an enormous distance here, and it'll be a throw-in to Grey College.
And as our fellow commentator Nyani Shimangi calls it, a pack killer when he sees that happen. The pack had the scrum just the other side of the 10-meter line. Now they've conceded possession due to fullback picking it out on the full. And it's given Grey College an opportunity to launch an attack from a set phase.
JC Janssen van Vuren, who's his target? Is it Rothman? It's to the front there to Burger. So a lot of emphasis placed on the importance of set pieces, even at schoolboy level. The problem for both teams is they're conceding far too many turnovers. So it's another one then, and a relief this for the home team, who will be casting their eyes anxiously at that scoreboard. Bear in mind, it's 35 minutes each way at schoolboy level, so just less than 12 minutes left of this first half.
The opportunity now for Paarl Boys to exit out of the red zone. Expect Heinrich Moller to set the target. And the booming right foot of Rion Lombard to find some field position.
Run away 6.
So who's got the big booming boot now? Lafitte certainly got it, if it can be used effectively, and so has Lombard. That's not his best kick of the day. Well, I think we have a situation here where there's going to be a change, because Ruben de Blanche, not sure if he's battling a little bit, but he's going to be replaced by Cully van Vuren for Grey College. Oh, certainly no weight loss, that I can promise you. Two beefy boys, one replacing the other. Now Van Vuren again tries to get it to Burger. bear in mind, as ball's outside the 22, it's playable by everybody because it was touched by the hand.
Knock in the line out.
Yeah, there's a knock on there, says the referee. So back they come. A little smile on the face there of Tristan Solomons. Probably he's just about his first touch of the game too.
Well, I tell you, the wingers on both sides will be getting somewhat frustrated as the ball hasn't found them down to their side of the field, but the kick being partially charged, and it allows Paarl boys yet again an opportunity to exit from well within their red zone. As you see the Paarl boys scholars in the background, well, the music is blaring here and a wonderful atmosphere down here in Paarl.
Find.
Yeah, it's a great, really is a great platform to play on. These Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools games
Stay 9. Blue.
with quality rugby teams and mostly quality rugby too.
A white tackler, white.
So there's another turnover now. Grey College Vessels brought in from the left wing there beyond Gous. Good play by the left winger. Andrade.
More.
This time it's pretty good
On the
upper
ground,
body
please.
strength
On the
there
ground,
from Paarl
please.
Boys High.
Leave.
But Badenhorst has won it. So the key
Step wide,
thing
step
here
back,
too,
step back,
perhaps,
step
is
back,
patience.
step back.
In a really good attacking position here as Burger carries it up. Grey College just try and cut down their errors as best as they can. This is strong running. In from the back comes Steenkamp. He has a chance, and it's going to be Eriksson. An excellent finish that. And from a set piece, the ball was carried up, and Gray just doing such a good job with moving it through the hands efficiently.
Glenn Eriksson, he's broken the deadlock down here in Paarl. Brilliant work by the outside backs of Grey College. They found the way to Lawrence Steenkamp, who sided his way through numerous defenders. And then they found a flying Glenn Eriksson, who crashed in the corner for the opening score in this clash.
You see the gentleman that was standing alongside Eriksson there. His name's Wim Pitt. He's been around for years. He's a cleaner at Grey College, and he travels everywhere with them, and he's their cheerleader. Does such a fantastic job.
Now, Lawrence Steenkamp will be mindful of the fact that his first effort went well to the left of that left-hand upright. He needs to start it about 2 to 3 meters outside that right-hand upright. Bring it back with this wind.
Key thing is, can you get the distance? It's off the upright, so he pretty much did what Gareth Wright suggested he should do, with the ball staying out. Here's the finish then. Excellent running.
Look at the offload coming in from Steenkamp, and brilliant finishing by Eriksson as Grey College hit the front, and Wim Pitt, he's delighted with that opening score.
What I really liked about Glenn Eriksson there, Gareth, too, is that he wasn't too shallow. That's one of the things that wingers sometimes do. Then the ball gets passed behind them. He was going at full tilt when he took it. So an excellent finish that.
Lawrence Steenkamp, he just needs to get the hang of this wind. The higher he kicks it, the more it's going to be pulled back. He's got to kick it lower. Try use a lower trajectory to get a better result.
So not too many lineouts today for Paarl Boys High. Colfin Sale.
And expect it to go to the banker ball in De Villiers.
Stay 9.
Now, Boys High looking to try
Back 4.
and carry it up. Getting into the 22.
Keep it up, Blue.
That's good, efficient play by them.
Keep it up,
Grey
Blue.
College have got to be careful that they don't sack this ball.
Use it
Just
once.
crabbed a little bit. Now the
Use
referee's
it.
asked them to use it.
Stay Blue.
So Bradley Thane waiting for it. Now he gets it. That's the first real
Run
touch
away,
there for Heinrich
Paarl.
Waller to that inside centre. Just shows you how little possession, efficient possession, that Paarl Boys High have had in this first half. Thane, the long pass. That's a good take there from Quinton Foster. Well, That time the turnover was illegal. So now's a big question here, Gareth, because obviously it's kickable, but I guess corner flagging is the call, or it should be.
Well, after that last drive by Paarl boys, the sensible option will be to stick it out, set the drive again. And that's good, clever captaincy coming in from the captain, Vian Botha. What's happening with Paarl boys' attack? It's lateral, devoid of ideas. However, they managed to get the penalty, and it's again the open side flanker, De Wet Besaidnout, not releasing the tackle player.
It's another good line-out catch that by Paarl boys. Can they look for or find the efficiency in the driving maul?
Keep it up.
Still 15 meters out, so
7.
in fact it's about 10 right now.
Back now.
And this is good organisation by them. They're staying packed up close.
Unbound.
And eventually it's one of the players that go to ground. So Thane's pass, then Lombard. Chance for him, but not much of a chance because that gap was closed very quickly. We've spoken about the efficiency of the grey defence.
17
Comes
away.
in this occasion by Cully van Vuuren.
Release
And
4.
Gareth, we've seen both teams' ability to carry the ball through multiple phases.
Well, this is the tactic they need to employ. They need to pull that grey defence in tighter. Go with a pick and go. Try suck some defenders in before they earn the right to go wide.
Right away, blue.
That they certainly are trying to do right now.
Backwards.
And another wasted opportunity, but the ball's bounced favourably here for Paarl boys high.
Step.
Thane, he's got all the forwards here to carry it up, including Philip Coetzee. Now, can they find a gap somewhere along the line? Lombard decides to go himself for the second time, but that's efficient delivery of the ball. He has their chance. There's their try.
Well, it's tit for tat. Tristan Solomons, the right winger of Paarl boys, has got over the whitewash, and the Paarl boys supporters are delighted. They're on their feet down here. Ruan Lombard, we thought he had made the wrong decision, but then it was Kirkley Grain who found the willingness of the right winger in Solomons, and over he thundered for the equaling score. It's levelled matters up down here in Paarl.
It's quite a good record to have that. Touched the ball twice in the first half, scored a try with one of them. Tristan Solomons, happy with that. Ryan Lafitte will be happy if he can get his first kick over today. One thing, he won't be short of the posts. The wind at his back. Got enough height on it, and it's straight enough. So on the stroke of half-time then, it's the home team that go into the lead.
From the ensuing pass from Kirkley Grain, great hands by Solomons. He got inside of Vessels and crossed the whitewash for Paarl boys' opening score.
Steenkamp, that's a very good kick off that, just hung up, easy kicking into the wind. We've got to make sure that you get it right. All the supporters from Paarl are in full voice at the moment. Just over a minute left of this first half. So they have another opportunity here from this penalty to get down towards the goal line of Grey College.
He's got the wind at his back. He's got to look for a lengthy touch finder here. Anything less than the 22-metre line, well, he'll be disappointed with that. If they can get another score before half-time, there'll be cock-a-hoop for the home side. The old boys filtered in here, delighted with what they're seeing in the last 10 minutes from the old alma mater.
Seen a lot of old Greys here today as well. A fair number that I know and others that I've been introduced to. Paarl boys, of course, always have a lot of their old boys out here. Former Springbok Corne Krige, who's still the only player to have captained South African schools and the Springboks. So look to set up things here from Andreas van Wyk for Paarl boys high. They'll be mindful of the clock ticking down.
Good laps, more. Second down.
So there again, it's another turnover, Gareth. Now, I
That's the
guess
time,
that's going to be a
half time,
talking
half
point
time.
for both coaches at half-time.
And as we go into the half-time break, you're absolutely right. It's been the upper body strength of Grey College who've managed to keep the home side at bay. However, it is the visitors who have scored just before the break, and they lead this Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools clash by 7 points to 5 down here in Paarl. Don't go away because there's much more action to come in the second half.